Good afternoon, good sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Today's episode is brought to you by
Mikey's Movie News! Yes, our good friend Mikey Webb
has movie news for you.
The camera is extremely high today.
Okay, I'm glad you noticed that.
Why is it different?
Do we want to change it?
I don't know, does it work?
It looks good.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, so today
we gotta tell Mikey is our good friend from school, and he is an esteemed movie critic. Is that the right word, esteemed?
Esteemed? I esteem him. As a movie critic.
Okay, I don't know what that means. But, esteemed. I'm sorry. But, you go to his website, there's a bunch of good reviews of movies, and while the new ones comes out, just do it. It's awesome. I commend you.
MikeysMovieNews.weebly.com.
Not org. You go to .org, you'll get something funky.
I don't know. I've never visited .org, but Weebly.
Don't do it.
Weebly is spelled W-E-E-B-L-Y.
Yes.
Okay. Today we're going to talk about a childhood memory I have that's kind of a funny story.
Not mine, because I cannot remember my childhood.
Jason didn't have a childhood.
I'm still going through my childhood. I'm a man-child.
He's gonna remember these moments that we had together on Good Afternoon, Good Sir.
Yeah.
And forever remember these. Okay, so my memory, it happened back when I was 7 or 8, and we weren't living in this house. We were living in another house. It was over by the junior high. It was on top of the squiggly hill by the junior high school. Yeah, you know the.
By Pound Safety.
Yeah, in that neighborhood. And so I lived on the top of this like hill area, and like a block down from my house there was this hill that was pretty steep. I mean, yeah, it's pretty steep. And it goes down and it kind of zigzags back and forth, and then you get to the bottom and there's the junior high there. But I didn't know it was a junior high when I was 7. But I was riding my bike.
It was like an ominous building that no one should go to.
Nobody knew what it was. All I knew was there was a dumpster next to it, and my mom occasionally sent me there to recycle things.
Sent you there to die.
Well, it was funny because she sent me with like this wagon, and I just pulled whatever she wanted me to recycle in the wagon. Then I had to haul the wagon up the hill. But it was fun. Anyway, yeah. So I was riding bikes around with my good friend Chris, who was.
I'm not Chris.
This is Jason. Chris was a different individual.
Not was. We are not one person. Conjoined into one. I'm Grayson.
Chris is still alive. I didn't mean that by was. This didn't end his life, but it might have. So we were riding bikes. You'll see.
It didn't.
No, it didn't. Chris is still alive and with us today, and I still talk to him. So we were riding bikes just around the neighborhood, and then we decided, this would be really fun to go down the hill by our house because it's such steep, and
it's steep.
Yep, it's such a steep hill, and you know how when you're kids you just want to see how fast you can go on your bike, or at least I did.
I was not one of those kids. I can barely go down my driveway on a scooter today.
And he's still in his childhood.
Yes.
So we decided to go down this hill. Of course, we went on the sidewalk because our mom told us not to go on the street. Cars go in the street. That would have ended both of our lives if we got hit by a car going down that hill. But
short. I don't know if they have ended in my day depending on the speed of the car.
Depending on the speed of the car, Jason.
Yes,
that would have determined the fate of our lives from the time forward. So we were going down this hill, and
just helped him clear up the story.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. So we're going down this hill, and we're riding, and we're not wearing helmets. And now this is the climax, the climactic moment when you think, Trevor, you idiot!
Chris.
Yeah, because it wasn't all my fault. No, you have to remember, I'm like 7 years old. Or 7 or 8. I don't remember the exact age, but it was around that time.
If you were 8, you'd be 1 year older than 2.
Well, obviously I wasn't wise because I wasn't wearing a helmet. So, that must make me 7 because I wasn't a year older and wiser as well. So we were going down the hill. Chris was in.
You were 6.
Huh?
You're a year older than 6.
Whoa. We're going down the hill, and I don't remember what happened, but we were trying to go kind of slow so we could maintain control of our bikes, because this is the kind of hill that if you didn't use your brakes, you'd start going like 60. I'm not kidding. Just kidding. I am kidding.
Just kidding.
Probably like 40. But so we were maintaining control of our bikes with our brakes, and then Chris hits this rock, and it's right by this house that doesn't have, you know how there's the sidewalks usually, and then there's a strip of like grass and then the street on lots of houses. Not all houses have it, but anyway. So there's like the house here, the sidewalk here, which we're riding on. Then there's usually a strip of grass here, so it's soft padding for falling off your bikes.
That's what it's
and
for.
then, yeah, and it's also a.
Okay, now I know what you're talking
Yeah. So this house that we just happened to be in front of when Chris hit this rock did not have that grass padding. It was all rocks. And there were some pretty chunky rocks too. They were like, and sharp. Because as Chris hit this rock, his bike flipped, threw him over the front of the handlebars, and he came down on his forehead right on one of the rocks. And it cut it right open. And this is
his forehead, not the rock.
Yeah, because only I could cut the rock open. This is kind of a gruesome story. You may want to turn this off right now, but the lady who was at the house. No, I'm just telling you a story. I'm just because I remember it.
Okay.
You can close your ears if you want.
Okay.
So the lady that was in the house saw this happen, so she comes running out. And she's like,
And laughs.
"Oh my!" No, but I wasn't sure what to do. I think I might have gone into shock, but I was going and
Hello.
Hi, Dad. And so I was going down the hill, and the lady comes out and like grabs Chris, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I think Chris might have like passed out for a second.
Because the lady was beautiful.
She was married and she had children of her own. And I think she was. That doesn't matter. He probably passed out, but I just remember the lady came and the lady like knelt down in front of me to get Chris up off this rock, and I was trying.
Lodged in his forehead. They had to get 2 crowbars.
Actually, I think
thing of pliers.
Chris.
And go.
Were you there? No, Chris was lodged in the rock. The rock was not lodged in Chris. So
he was like this hanging.
He wasn't hanging. It was on the ground.
Yeah. So would he like stick him up like that?
No.
Whatever.
It was just his face was first. He had this gash in his forehead, and this lady comes up and she like picks Chris up, but she's like kneeling down so her back's to me, and I'm trying to slow down really fast. But remember, this is a steep hill, and my brakes on my little bike that's like meant for 7-year-olds don't work
Or
very
8.
well. 7-year-olds, as we determined earlier, don't work very well. So I slowed down as much as I could, but I hit the back of this lady, and I flipped over the handlebars, but I didn't land in the rocks.
Lodged his forehead into the back of Chris's. They were conjoined into a Krish kebab.
Krish kebab, and we became Siamese twins.
And that's what happened to Chris.
No. That's not what happened to Chris. I flipped over the handlebars, I landed on the sidewalk, and then she was like, "Oh, are you okay?" And apparently she didn't feel me hit her back with my bike, but I felt like it was a pretty big impact.
Well,
anyway,
wait,
so,
one second.
okay.
You know how you said bikes for 7-year-olds aren't that good?
Yeah.
They should be. I don't ever use my bike brakes. Well, I don't have a bike. But I'm
What
just
are you
saying.
trying to say?
I'm just saying, if you have bikes for a younger kid, you should make the brakes work, so they're not hauling butt down the street.
The brakes weren't like dead. Of course they were.
I'm just saying they should.
They were present, but they
Grade
weren't-
A brakes. I'm just saying.
You can't buy grade A brakes if you don't buy a grade A bike. This was not a grade A bike.
They should make all bikes grade A, for the sake of the future of the
How would bike
And
makers
other
make any
countries
more
that have
money if
bikes.
there weren't like upgrades of bikes you could buy? If it
So
was
people
all-
don't die and get sued. Anyway,
so
I'm done.
Chris's mom called the ambulance, and the ambulance was apparently too slow getting there, so Chris's mom just
Ran.
ran over her shoulder, ran to the hospital. No, she drove him in the back of her car to the hospital, and I just watched. I didn't watch actually. After Chris got taken away to the hospital, I was kind of just standing there, kind of just dazed, because I hit the sidewalk. Our microphone! I hit the sidewalk, so I was kind of like in a trance, in a daze, and then I just walked my bike home. And I didn't hear about Chris until 2 days later.
3 days
when I
later.
found out he had to get 13 stitches in his head. That was my childhood memory for today.
Well, that was...
I have more, but that was the one I think I'm going to share today.
Okay. I have nothing.
That's too bad. Well, thanks for watching yet another episode of Good Afternoon, Good Sir. We're sorry we haven't uploaded for a long time. School has started and we've gotten busy. And
I got a job!
so did I.
Yep.
We are now
Working man.
We are now not on the unemployment line.
Yep.
Not that it would affect us if we were, but...
Well, yeah, it would, because we wouldn't get any money.
Well, yeah, but we depend on our parents. Anyway, thanks for watching. We hope to see you next time, and good afternoon to you.